It's almost time. It aligns with our anticipations. In a discussion with Pat McAfee, Kirk Herbstreit revealed that indeed, the upcoming College World video game is slated for launch, which I presume will likely be in the second week of July, possibly around July 12th or July 14th. This timing is consistent with their past practices and the release patterns observed when they launched Madden, pointing towards a mid-July release. In my opinion, launching the game on July 4th would be fantastic, yet I anticipate it might drop around the second week of July. However, Kirk Herbstreit's spontaneous remark during an interview, suggesting a July release, aligns perfectly with our predictions. It's precisely the confirmation we were seeking, and let me clarify, this isn't an April Fool's joke. Therefore, we should look forward to its release in mid-July, just a few months away. There are a couple of aspects I overlooked regarding this game. It seems there's a lot of discussion about which players will receive the top ratings. The list seems somewhat unusual. I get why Ollie Gordon is on there. He's an impressive running back from Oklahoma State, rated at 99 overall. Though I'm skeptical about that, the list appears to be quite arbitrary. And Travis Hunter with a 97 rating? Ranking Travis Hunter is challenging, given his roles in both offense and defense. Harold Perkins, an exceptional hybrid linebacker. He embodied the ideal traits of a contemporary, athletic linebacker who can also cover. I'm uncertain if Shadur Sanders should be rated a 95 and Ibuka a 94. If he entered the draft again, he'd likely be selected in the late first round or early second round. I anticipated his entry in the draft this previous year. As for Caleb Downs, I'd anticipate his rating to be around 97 or 98. Daniels, hailing from Kansas, is back, joined by Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel, an exceptionally underrated acquisition for Oregon. Many regard Dillon Gabriel as the top quarterback transfer, though opinions vary. Moreover, it's April Fool's Day. Thus, we have several college programs participating in some amusing activities. I simply wish to share my thoughts on Florida Atlantic's announcement of the Battle of the Coasts, set for Friday, November 1st, at 8 o'clock, taking place on the Atlantic. A college football match on an aircraft carrier, South Florida versus FAU, November 1st. It'd be amazing. Clearly, it's illogical. College basketball holds outdoor games, facing issues like wind affecting scoring, especially on aircraft carriers. Imagine that happening here, it would be pretty sweet. Of course, it is kind of a safety issue, although you could put up like fencing and stuff around it. I don't know. Either way, that was funny. And then Duke had the blue field. That looks real. I mean, that looks good. Duke announces updates to playing surface at Brooks Field at Wallace Wade Stadium. And you can see they've got a full, made-up little article here. The Blue Devils will install artificial grass on the field beginning in May. The initiative is expected to span across 2 months for its completion, with its launch set for Friday, August 30th, coinciding with their match against Elon. Thus, Duke will kick off their season against Elon. Naturally, they are anticipated to secure a victory in this match. It's uncertain. How do individuals feel about the potential addition of a modification to the upcoming college football video game, allowing the alteration of any team's field turf? For instance, transforming Ohio State's field to red, or turning Oregon's field into a vibrant lime green. I think it would kind of be an oversaturation. I guess it would be cool, but I don't think I would do that, honestly, because it would just be weird. Western Michigan, they have a really strange field turf. It's like gray. It makes it appear when you're watching their games, like it's in black and white. I don't know why you would want to do that. The Big Ten planning to charge annual membership dues to Rutgers, Northwestern, and Nebraska wouldn't see. That's unrealistic. In Nebraska, throwing isn't an option. It seemed like a humorous attempt, yet mentioning Rutgers and Northwestern alone would have made it credible. Sure, Nebraska's had its struggles, but given its popularity, it's clearly a boon for the Big Ten. Northwestern and Rutgers, especially Rutgers with its Maryland alliance, landed fantastic deals. Now with all these other teams wanting to join it, I like how they have just a photo of the Big Ten logo, like it's supposed to be serious news. You know how, you'll get tweets, and then it'll just be like a photo of the helmet with the logo on it. 'Cause it's serious. It's kind of funny how they did that. But if you throw Nebraska in there, it's not realistic. I mean, we know it's obviously fake. It's common knowledge that it's not real. Moreover, these April Fool's Day pranks appear to be more frequent nowadays. Consider the Lake County captains. Clearly, this isn't college football. Yet, I found it amusing. The Lake County captains having a game at Cleveland Brown Stadium. The idea of Cleveland Brown Stadium serving multiple purposes. The depiction isn't very convincing. It needs to appear more authentic. It's lacking. You have to bring an extension fence into right field for that to be realistic. It's just a funny thing I thought there. The MAC conference has voted to add Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky would run through the MAC with that offense. The air raid? Yeah, that would be awesome if that happened. But the MAC is adding UMass. I didn't even cover that. Maybe I should cover that right now. The MAC adding UMass, although there's really not much to talk about. The MAC is underperforming. Furthermore, incorporating UMass isn't likely to significantly benefit the league. Essentially, you're merely incorporating another team. Despite this, it's well known that UMass has been among the lowest performing FPS teams for several years. That's a recognized fact. I also wanted to talk about how about NC State possibly becoming more attractive now because they made the Final Four. Does that help them in terms of conference realignment? They're definitely one of those schools that's kind of, we're 50-50 on what's going to be happening to NC State. Maybe I'll do a separate video on NC State in general, although this was just a rumor. Pittsburgh, Virginia Tech, Louisville, NC State can all join Big 12. I don't see the advantage for the Big 12 here. Adding more teams, like maybe Louisville or Pittsburgh, doesn't seem beneficial. It just waters down the conference. They already have plenty of teams. Adding more just dilutes their strength. Unless they manage to strike a deal where the new teams don't get full benefits financially of membership. But then why would they leave? Because they're getting virtually the same with this current deal in the ACC. The only way I can see this happening is if the ACC completely implodes in NC State. I don't know if them making the Final Four. Obviously, it's very shocking. If you look at NC State basketball, it really is remarkable. The season that they had, they probably should have finished 18-15 and not even made the NIT. Then they scored a buzzer-beater 3 against Virginia, clinching the ACC tournament. This victory was their ticket to the field of 64. As an 11 seed with an automatic bid from winning a Power 6 conference championship, they made it. However, for NC State, it doesn't alter much. It's merely interesting that they reached the Final Four amidst all the realignment news. There's the whole rumor NC State possibly tied at the hip to North Carolina. Wherever North Carolina goes, is NC State going to be going? I don't think so. I think North Carolina and Duke would be tied at the hip. And I do believe that the Big Ten might be interested in terms of that basketball rivalry. The other thing that's important to note, both North Carolina and Duke are not horrible at football. Clearly, joining the Big Ten might make them weaker since the ACC's football performance isn't strong, and those teams occasionally win games. Duke had Riley Leonard last year, who got hurt. They secured a significant victory early in the season. Was it Clemson they upset? And North Carolina. They've had teams with solid in-state recruiting. Recruiting is good in North Carolina, Drake May, obviously, but in general, it'll be interesting to see what happens to NC State. I don't think NC State is going to be joining the Big Ten or the SEC, but we will see either way. Guys, that is just the update on the college football video.